Immediately a loud noise. Love that for me. How are we doing tonight? Hello, hello. Welcome in, welcome in. We are just getting started. New topic tonight, but one that I think will be pretty good. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I like it. This needs to be tilted down a little bit. There we are. It's tough because I can't sit in any chairs normally. Welcome into Agnostic, and I don't know if that's Can or Kane over on YouTube, but thank you for being here. Pedifog, welcome in on TikTok. Welcome in Jimmy Fontaine. Welcome in Johnny Bravo. Wow, we've got quite the crew over here, huh? It is a chill Friday night stream. End of the week, always nice. Fridays are a short work day for me. Oh, hey, Boogie. So that means my after work nap is a little longer than usual. So maybe I'm a little. Kane, all right. Well, Kane, thank you for being here. And hello to 1974 Ford Pinto wagon. Hey to Kush. Welcome in, y'all. We're running a new prompt tonight. We'll see if we get any people in from this. I think we will. I'm gonna adjust where my mic is just a tad, because it is kind of blocking the screen from me. Hopefully that's not too distracting. Spoiler is accurate? Yeah, I was inspired by some of my guests from last night to put up this prompt, because so many men last night demonstrated that they didn't understand consent. It was pretty gross, actually. We had men who say that there's no such thing as rape in marriage. We had men defend marrying children. Just a whole bunch of really gross stuff. So I was like, it seems that there's something that these guys don't quite understand, and that is consent. So we're going to be talking about that today. Christian men, basically, primarily. Now, I will say sometimes Christian women also don't understand consent, because they will defend men violating the consent of women. So, it's great. But I have some verses to back my shit up. I've got articles pulled up to teach grown men what consent is. So we'll work on it. Yo, Betty White asks if it's a Pokemon on the right. No, this is our robot goat. Yay! Still yet to be named, but we're working on it. I've seen some good suggestions, and I'm considering them. I'm considering the suggestions. This is important to me, naming the goat, because I'm not going to rename the goat after I've named the goat. So, anyways, we do not have the Linktree call-in open tonight because I don't have a screener. So it's just going to be TikTok call-ins tonight. But if you would like, you can request on TikTok to come up and chat. If you're over on YouTube, tough shit tonight, I guess. My bad. Welcome in, Functional. Hi. Welcome in, Fat Jesus Resurrection. I love that username. They don't understand consent and never will. Yeah. Unfortunately, the teachings of their religion demonstrate that they don't understand consent, That's what they're taught to believe. Just, they're taught against respecting consent. It's great. Someone on Discord said sigh for the robot. That was one that I did really like. People have recommended Rob, Robbie, and Robert for the goat. Can't do that. I have a Rob in my family. That would just be weird. Sorry. Can't do it. Well, welcome in, G.I. Robot Brian. I think I see why you might feel at home here. kisses from France. Ooh, that's the good kind because you know it's with tongue. Thank you. Well, Micah, if you think you understand what consent is, despite the fact that you spelled it wrong, you're welcome to request up and have a conversation about it. Lucy the goat, like Lucifer? I can maybe see that. I feel like now Lucifer evokes Has-Been Hotel for too many people, though. I don't know why I just made that face. I made the, like, Debbie Downer face. Romans 1:20 truth. My mods are doing their job. Sorry. Good evening. What makes me think that you don't understand consent? Well, if you're a Christian man, that would be it. That would be the thing. What has hurt me to create these debates against Christianity? Genuine question. It's not about something like hurting me personally. It's about me observing the negative impact that religion has had on our culture and our country. So I do these debates to try to help people who might be deconstructing or might be interested in deconstructing, because I was once there and it was a lonely and painful process. So every day this channel got an anti-Christian question. No, sometimes it's just like general ones like why is God an a-hole? That's not specifically Christian. Thoughts on women who turn to Christianity after being essayed / find comfort in religion. I think religion does often prey on those who are in vulnerable emotional states. I think that they try to get to people when they are vulnerable, and it's not necessarily always out of malice. It might genuinely be because they think this person is in such a low state that's an opportunity to help them and to evangelize to them. But the problem is that is preying upon the emotionally vulnerable, because once people do experience like something very traumatic like that, they do often look for something to comfort them, and they do often look for community. So religious communities help to bridge that gap. It's just preying on the vulnerable. That's my thoughts on it. Our community just teared up. Woo! And not in like the way. Did I ask for salvation at any point? Yeah, I was a Christian till I was 17. I was baptized. I was a fervent believer in Christ and in Christianity. Not anymore. Da, 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 da. Hey there, welcome in.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing alright. Can I get your name, your age, and your pronouns?
Dylan, 33, he, him.
Alright. What is your religion or lack thereof, Dylan?
Yeah, I don't identify with a religion, but I do have a relationship with Jesus Christ.
Oh, so you don't actually call yourself a Christian, but you follow the teachings of Jesus?
Correctly, and I think I have good reason to do that intentionally. Like, I don't think it's to be kind of have any flair. I feel like as you continue to learn more about religion and an academic perspective, the house of cards definitely falls under that stress, and it kind of just shows that modern Christianity is, it's a Roman religion. It's not, the New Testament, half of it or more is written by the Apostle Paul. There's only 4 books in the Testament that even discuss or have Jesus speaking. And like if you follow the entirety of the New Testament, you're mostly following the doctrine of Paul. And a lot of Christians these days contradict the message of Jesus, gospel of Jesus, because they have preference for scripture they can quote and books in the New Testament written by Paul, in which Paul contradicts Jesus. Paul is a big part of the salvation doctrine that you have to believe to be saved.
Okay, you're kind of going off on a thing here. Because That was just a
Sorry.
lot. Also, the police are after you. Um,
Yeah, I know. I'm hiding.
well, you're not doing a very good job if you're putting yourself on a live stream. But yeah, Dylan, do you believe that Jesus was born of a virgin?
Um, I believe in healthy skepticism, so like not exactly, but also yes. Like I think it's perhaps yeah. Mm.
It's just interesting that you say you have a relationship with Jesus, but you don't necessarily seem to believe anything about him.
No, I believe so like one thing is like last night I was joining different like lives with Christian debates, and I irritate Christians because like a lot of them lives are like Christians going, oh, you need to be baptized and believe to have salvation. I always join those lives and I bring up Matthew chapter 25 verse 31 to 46, and Jesus plainly states, and it's one of the few where Jesus even speaks in the Bible. He plainly states that to go to heaven you have to show compassion for the marginalized. You have to give food to the hungry, water to the thirsty, give clothing to the naked in the street, visit the one alone in prison. The people who do that are and don't do that, they're both shocked on Judgment Day, as it's described in Matthew. And it's like I'm kind of paraphrasing, but because people aren't expecting that we're actually judged on just simple compassion. Because yeah, modern Christians think it's a whole complex of doctrine they have to follow or pursue. And, a God of all creation is a God of all people. So of course it is going to go down to a foundational basic of harmony. I don't think God is nothing like Christians would think he is, that he would judge exclusively based on some sort of ideological preference. No, I mean, like I said, Jesus has a minimal part in the Bible, and if you strictly follow Jesus, you don't follow most of, or at all the New Testament.
So if Jesus says no one gets to the Father except through me, what does that mean?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's because so Jesus giving his life, um, you know, it, this would be a tangent, but it's kind of like a bartering thing with the universe and cosmic forces. Give his life for the sake of people who are lost, or for the
But
right to
if but
judge
if
the
us
people.
but if us getting
Because
into heaven is dependent on our works, then why does Jesus have to do that?
Well, because Jesus is the one that judges the world, and it's discussed how he judges the world in Matthew 25. It's based on if you show compassion to the marginalized, you go to his right hand, your access to grant it to heaven. People who are considered ghosts and parted to the left are the ones who basically deny people in need or desperate need of help. Homeless people or whatever. We always are test like in life. A situation stranger walks up, and we could just walk away or deny it.
Dylan,
A lot of people
you're
do.
not answering my question. If us
Sorry.
getting into heaven is based off of works, then why did Jesus have to die?
I think that's definitely a matter of fate for humanity, and the willing the. I would have to
What's
really
the
think to give a direct
purpose?
answer
That's kind of like the
because
major thing in Christianity, Jesus dying. So if you don't have a reason for one of the major things that Jesus supposedly did,
it's to barter for the souls of humanity. Because right now humanity is selling itself out to evil. Like I mean, you know how evil this world is. And I'm not talking about LGBT or anything. I'm LGBT. I'm talking about genuine hypocritical Christian religious leaders. All that
I get
sort.
that, but you said that us getting into heaven is not based on faith in Christ, it's based off of works.
The works thing, people would define works as many things, like donating and stuff, whatever. But I look at it just like if you were in a situation where a homeless guy was just asked for like a sandwich and you blew him off or you gave him one.
I'm not trying to talk about like what works people do.
Okay.
I'm asking what is the utility of Jesus dying if us getting into heaven is based off of our works, not based off of faith in Christ.
Like I said, it's a bartering thing. For him to have the right to judge
Bartering
us, he has to
what?
sacrifice himself for us against darkness. Like in Zoroastrianism, which is an older kind of Abrahamic root religion, it explains that God created the universe, and as a natural consequence of creating creation, all things possible, evil is a natural consequence. So
That
it's a
doesn't
natural result of
explain
evil in the
that doesn't
universe.
explain the utility of Jesus dying.
It's like bartering. It's like sacrificing yourself to gain people.
Okay,
To
so
have the
is
right
there like a
judge to judge
certain
them.
number of people that he got back for sacrificing himself?
Let me explain the alternative. Like so like in Egyptian ancient civilizations, Mesopotamian, ancient humanity were worshiping gods from the universe and shit. They could have sold out to them. They could still sell it to them. They're still selling out to the gods of the universe.
I don't care
You
about the
know,
other
so
gods.
humanity is.
I'm asking within Christianity if our entry to heaven is solely based off of works. There's no reason that Jesus had to die.
You know, I think what I'm kind of explaining, and I think you're looking for a more direct answer, and I think I would love to give that to you,
Looking for a
but
relevant answer.
there's going to be a vagueness there. I mean, I can only explain the general thing that like if Jesus okay here if Jesus didn't sacrifice himself on earth or ever become involved in this world, we would have never had a choice to go to heaven because he would have never because we would have lended ourselves to darkness.
But why did he
God
have to
had to go
die? Like, why did he
sacrifice
have to
his
be
son.
executed? Why couldn't he have just lived like a long, happy life and passed away peacefully?
It's about intercession, divine intercession. There has to be an interaction or intercession for something to change in the universe.
Why? If God is all powerful, why does why does anything have to occur?
So if nothing did occur and there was no divine intercession from higher reality in this lesser world to save us from darkness, then it would be, yeah, we'd be probably doing the same shit we're doing today. But for the opportunity to enter the kingdom of heaven through his sacrifice, he had to give his life to barter against darkness, because good and evil are equal at the start of creation. You could say devil has as much as right as God does, and I don't really believe in the devil, but that's what I mean. Like, there's an equal balance there.
It's so frustrating how you still are not answering the question. I'm asking you, like, what's your favorite color, and you're saying I like jazz music. Like, that's what's happening right now, because I'm asking
sorry.
you.
I'm just a very nuanced, like the perspective I have, it's like there's
It's
like
not
3 points and 1 point.
nuance. You're answering a different question.
So why
Because
did Jesus
I'm specifically trying to ask you, like, why Jesus had to be executed. Why did that specifically have to take place
Right.
for us to be able to have access to heaven? If it was based off of works, works don't involve Jesus getting executed. So you're saying it was an intercession, it was a bargaining tool against darkness. Well, why is that bargaining tool necessary if it's based off of our works? Are you saying that it influenced everyone to be less influenced by the darkness? That's such a strange thing, and again, doesn't require Jesus to die.
That's the thing, though. Humanity has free will, so like there has to be. Yeah, it wouldn't. Nothing could just stay the same, and it just stay the same and go the right direction, because humanity has free will. So humanity could choose good or evil. You know, and the principle of going into a higher reality above the universe is you have to accept a person like Jesus Christ, a person who was homeless. You know, he was homeless. You have to be able to. It's a higher reality. It's a supreme state of benevolence and higher reality. You have to be able to demonstrate you can appeal and understand his selfless love, his sacrificial love, and share the same kind of love he showed the world. Because you have to be a good person to go to heaven. Hence why the rest of them are not going to heaven. Like, it's really about being a good person. But if you don't agree with that, you think that's redundant and there's no purpose to that. The thing is, the predicament, whether there's Jesus or God or not, is we're fucked in this world. So that's why, and then like the previous life guest is like, why should I have faith in God? Like, well, I hope I have faith. I want to have faith for justice, of course. And I believe there's good justice, but you know, I know that Christianity is completely fucked up and made it also satanic, the whole religion itself. But sorry.
I forgive you. Next up. Hey, what's up? Can I get your name, age, and pronouns? Great. Hey, what's up? Can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
Yeah, my name is Jackson, and I'm 35. And
you really hesitated on that.
It's just male pronouns. But I have a question.
So what would those be?
It's he.
Gotcha.
His.
All right, Jackson. So what is your religion or lack thereof?
What's your problem with Jesus?
Okay, Jackson, so what is your religion or lack thereof?
Um, I don't have a religion. I just want to know why you have a problem with Jesus.
You don't have a religion? I mean, I'm only allowing, like, religious people up to talk, so...
Well, I am religious, but
Oh.
like,
Finish your sentence. You got this, Jackson.
well, I did. I finished it.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
religious.
So your sentence was, I'm religious, but...
I said I'm religious, but what's your problem with Jesus?
Oh, you didn't say that. You just said, well, I am religious, but. So I guess you were saying that you're a religious butt? Like, a religious ass? Your
I
ass
am.
is very religious?
My religion is big booty, yes.
Religious.
So
All right.
Yes, can we continue? Are you a spaghetti head? You know those people? The spaghetti head people?
No.
Is that
Well,
your religion?
I know them, but I don't. I'm an agnostic atheist.
Oh, that's a religion too.
No, it is not. It's a lack of...
Can you disprove God for me?
That's not how burden of proof works, my friend.
You can't disprove God then.
You can't prove the non-existence of literally anything.
Okay, so you can't prove that God doesn't exist.
You can't prove that there's not an invisible teapot orbiting Jupiter.
There's no science behind God not existing, so we don't know.
Again, you cannot logically prove the non-existence of literally anything. Can you prove to me that there is not an invisible little man tap dancing in my hands right now?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Prove it. Prove he's not there.
Well, he was there. I kicked him out. I sent him to the fourth dimension.
No,
so
I'm holding him right here.
Let's continue.
I can see him, actually. I can see him and he's still there. So can you prove that he's not there?
How are you an agnostic?
Can you prove that he's not there?
Atheist.
Jackson, can you prove that he's not there?
Well, obviously I can't prove he's not there. I just kicked him out. I just did.
No, only I can see him and he's still there.
Well, obviously you're calcified.
Set him down
Your pineal gland is blue, it's frozen, and you can't see into the etheric realm at all.
The way that I see them, 'cause you gotta look at them.
So let's get back to what we were talking about.
There's music
God
playing.
said, go kill your brother, and that's something you despised. But you gotta look at stuff with Jesus' blood-colored glasses, and you'll never see clearly again, using spiritual eyes.
Welcome back, Jackson. The rest of us were appreciating a banger. Sorry about that. You're invited to unmute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, unfortunately.
Okay, we're good. Yeah. So, like, what do you think there are higher dimensions?
No.
No? Have you ever you've never done the WASC?
No.
Why not?
Why would I?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't just
I've
do
never met
everything. I do things that I have good reason to do, and I don't have good reason to do that.
Okay. Why not? Like, I mean, I've heard a lot of atheists, they do that and then they're no longer atheists. Why is that?
Well, that's anecdotal. I've also heard of people who are atheists who do it and remain atheist.
Have you? Do you know one?
Yes, my partner.
He did it, he's still atheist?
Yeah.
Okay, so being that atheism, right, can't scientifically prove that God doesn't exist.
That's not what atheism claims.
It does. It does claim that. It claims that God doesn't exist.
No,
that is
atheism is a lack of belief in God. It is not the claim that God does not exist.
It's a lack of belief in God. Okay, you could say it like that, but either way,
I do, because that is what it is.
You can't prove that God doesn't exist. It's a faith. It's a belief. It's a belief. It's a faith.
Again, you
It's
can't
a faith.
prove
It's
the
a religious
non-existence of
faith.
anything, Jackson.
I know it takes just as much faith to believe that God doesn't exist as it does to believe God does.
No, not believing
That's
in
the
God.
whole point.
Not believing in
That's the
God
whole
is
point.
the null
Gotcha.
hypothesis,
Gotcha.
Jackson.
Checkmate. I'm out. You're done.
Jackson. Not believing in God is the null hypothesis. You would have to reject the null hypothesis. But let's just go with.
Where did you run, oh Christian? Where was the Spirit? Why run from my simple questions? Don't you have the answers in your book?
All right. Hey there, can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
My name is Joseph. I'm 23, and my pronouns are he and him.
All right, Joseph, what is your religion or lack thereof?
I am Roman Catholic.
Oh, interesting. So do you consider yourself to be a Christian?
I consider myself an offspring of the Christianity, yeah.
An offspring of Christianity. Interesting.
That's what Catholicism is.
I mean, some people who are Catholic call themselves Christian. Some people who are Catholic claim that they're not Christian. I've talked to both. Offspring. Maybe offshoot is what you mean?
It's an offspring of Christianity. That's why
Okay.
there's Roman Catholic churches, there's
Christianity had a
Episcopalian
baby, I
churches,
guess.
there's Protestant churches. They're all offsprings of Christianity.
Offsprings. That's just so interesting. What did Christianity fuck to produce Catholicism?
It's the followings of the Pope. We believe the Pope is the closest person to God.
So Christianity fucked the Pope?
I don't know why you're using such foul language, but
Sorry,
you.
Christianity made sweet, sweet love to the Pope?
no. I don't know why you hop on here and just say foul language and try and discredit
How is
religions.
saying make sweet, sweet love foul language?
Before you were saying the F word, so
And I corrected myself.
yeah, that's the word you should be using.
Okay, so Christianity had gentle coitus with the Pope?
No, you know who the Pope is, correct?
He's the guy in the funny hat, right?
You can call it a funny hat, yeah, sure.
Then I guess I do.
Alright. That's all Catholicism is we believe that the Pope
Funny hats?
is... You interrupted me, but we believe that the Pope is a direct connection to Jesus and God.
Well, very direct. They made gentle coitus together.
Alright, I mean, sure, if you want to think that, be my guest.
Put our service to the test. It's been years since we've had anybody here. That's all I'm gonna sing. I don't want to
Just so you know, all those people in your chat saying the F word are going to get you banned, so...
Oh, fuck. They are? Shit. Fuck. Oh, they can't fucking get me banned. I don't want to fucking get banned.
Alright, I'm just letting you know.
Fuck. Do I need to, like, boot those cunts out of there? Fuck.
I would just tell them to watch their words.
Okay, you cunts, watch your fucking language, alright? I don't want to hear that shit from you bitches. Calm your asses down.
Hey, question, how old are you?
Older than you.
And that's how you speak?
Yes.
That's not very good.
Oh no!
Well, I'm just
Oh,
telling you,
no!
as an adult, you should look to speak better.
Oh no, Joseph! Ah!
Alright. Hey, what makes you an atheist?
I don't believe in God.
How come?
Don't think he's real.
How do you think the universe was created?
I don't think it was. I think the universe is eternal.
Something eternal has to have been created. Something has to have started.
No, that's kind of
Yes,
the opposite of
yes.
what eternal means.
Everything has a creation.
Everything has a creation?
Yes.
You're using the wrong word again, but again, if it's eternal, that would mean it has always existed, which would mean that it was not created. It didn't have a beginning. It has eternally existed.
It has to have been created.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Give me evidence.
Life. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Egg.
How could it have come first?
Because egg-laying animals developed long before the modern chicken.
Who laid the egg?
Who laid the egg? It's probably not a who. I don't think we would assign a who to it.
Well, what laid the egg?
Yeah, so it would likely be a sexually reproducing animal. It would be pretty far
how
back
can that
in the
animal,
phylogenetic
if
tree.
you just said the egg came first, how can that animal have been created?
So it would have come from a species that didn't lay eggs.
I'm saying the original animal, an egg or a chicken, what came first?
The original animal, egg, or do you think chickens are the original animal?
No, it's a figure of speech.
Your question is nonsensical. Are you asking if the chicken or the chicken egg specifically came first?
I'm saying, look, you have a chicken and an egg. What comes first?
What type of egg is what I'm clarifying.
A chicken egg. Use your
Okay.
brain.
Well, I asked you, do you mean chicken and chicken egg? And you didn't say yes.
Well, if I say egg, what do you automatically assume?
Egg.
Egg as in egg you eat. Correct. Thank you.
You don't know what eggs I eat. Like, I'll fuck up a quail egg.
Alright, you do you. So what came first? The chicken egg or the chicken?
If we were talking about chicken egg or chicken, it would still be the chicken egg.
How can the chicken egg have come first if there's no chicken?
Yeah, so that's how evolution would work. So speciation would occur. The animal that laid the chicken egg wouldn't be what we would consider a chicken.
Sure, you want to sink that? Be my guest.
I would bet all the money in my bank account, like all $5 of it, that you don't know what evolution is.
You have $5 in your bank account?
I know. Try not to be jealous, Joseph.
That's pretty sad.
Well, I keep spending it on quail eggs. So can you tell me what evolution is, Joseph?
Evolution?
Yeah.
It's the changing of life, animals developing, new skills, new abilities.
Looks like I get to hold on to my $5. Woohoo! Because you do not know what evolution is.
Oh, no.
But speaking of $5, I'm going to read some super chats because I am behind on that. Boogie, I see that you asked which link for them to click to call onto the show. Not doing the link call Snake because I don't have a screener, but thank you for asking. Juju Penguin sent 2 super chats. One to say, I'm here to chew bubblegum and hear you cook, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Hair is fire tonight, by the way. Thank you. And then I've not heard a single foul word in this live. I don't know what this silly goose is talking about. It's spelled foul, like bird, foul. So it's a bird.
Oh,
it's a bird pun. See, you
pretty
do have
funny.
a sense of humor, Joseph.
I
Yeah,
mean,
so...
Who said I didn't? I just said to watch your language.
Oh, it's just that you were like, oh, it's sad that you're an adult and you use foul language.
It is sad that you're an adult and you're saying the C word, the F word, and thinking it's funny.
I think it's a lot more
It's
sad
not.
that you as an adult are saying literally the F word and the C word. That's a lot more sad to
I just
me.
find it very... You shouldn't be saying it. It's not a word that needs to be used.
Well, luckily, I don't give a fuck what you think about my language. So,
I'm not saying
evolution.
you have to. I'm just letting you know my
So
opinion.
evolution, it's going to be a change in the frequency of heritable characteristics in a population across generations.
That's literally what I said.
No, you said animals developing new skills and abilities. First of all, evolution does
It
not just apply
changed.
to animals. It applies to all
Living
forms
organisms
of life. Yeah.
Life, living
and-
organisms, same thing.
And that implies that evolution occurs during an organism's lifetime, which is not what happens. It is across generations. So a single animal does not evolve. It's not like Pokemon, right? So that
It can be. You don't know.
I do because I've actually studied evolution.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Do plants learn skills? Plants learn skills, yeah.
Oh, you're reading chat? No. Plants don't have the
They
ability
added me,
to
so
learn.
it highlighted it. It's pretty funny. Yeah,
Yep.
I love plants.
Plants don't have the ability to learn anything. They don't have a central
Yes,
nervous
they
system.
do. Plants are
No, they
living.
do not. That does not mean they have the ability to learn something. Learning would take the ability to have complex thought, which plants do not have. They don't have a central nervous system. So, Joseph,
Stay on the chat
evolution.
while you're on the panel. It's rude. Okay, Poke.
I was just about to say the same thing. Just like have a conversation with me, not them, right? So when we're talking about evolution, it occurs across generations. So you've probably heard of like the phrase survival of the fittest. You can like polish off your calluses later, Joseph.
What do you mean?
I just heard like a sound and I figured
It must have been your mic. I didn't hear anything.
my mic? Why would I have heard? I'm not monitoring. That would be
The
hell.
whistle? I don't know, maybe your headphones.
Okay. So are you familiar with the phrase survival of the fittest?
Yes.
Gotcha. What is your understanding of that phrase?
Survival of the fittest?
Yes.
If you're weak, you won't survive.
That's not quite what we mean by fittest. So when we're talking about fitness in terms of evolution, we're talking about specifically reproductive fitness. So a better way to phrase survival of the fittest is whatever trait increases the odds of them reproducing are more likely to get passed on.
Yeah, sure. You want to get all scientific, yeah.
I do, because we're talking about science.
Well, I mean, your question is, do Christians understand consent? And
I
you're
know,
going
but
on
you
about
took us
evolution.
down. You took us down this road, Joseph, by starting with intelligent design, claiming that there must have been a creator, claiming that there must have been
I
a
believe there's been
beginning
a
of the
creator. There's
universe
nothing
and of
you can
life.
say. There's nothing
Okay,
you can
if you're
say
if
that
you're
will
done
disprove
talking about
creation,
science,
and there's nothing I can say that will prove creation.
well, if there's nothing you can say that will prove it, why do you believe in it?
I've gone to church for 23 years. I believe there is a divine creator.
So that is just saying indoctrination. So if
Not
you want,
indoctrination. I
if you're
believe
tired
there's
of
a higher
talking about
power.
science, I will go ahead and I will talk with you about why I think the Christians don't understand consent, because it's pretty basic.
Sure, tell me why.
Yep. So consistently in the Bible, people have their consent violated by God, at the command of God, and as a result of the things that God does. And Christians condone that because they believe their God to be perfect. So I would say that is why Christians don't understand consent.
Give me some quotes from the Bible.
Sure. So let's talk about in 2 Samuel 12, when God has David's wives raped as a punishment to David.
Read the further context. He says to love thy wife, love thy family.
That's not the context. The further context would be David is receiving this punishment because he slept with Bathsheba and then had her husband killed at war. So this is supposed to be a punishment that mirrors that, and that his wives are going to be taken from him the way that he took Bathsheba from Uriah. That is the context of this. More context would be, this actually occurs in 2 Samuel chapter 16 when Absalom stages a coup and takes over David's palace. David leaves behind 10 of his concubines to watch the palace, and Absalom, in a bid to show power, decides to take them up onto the rooftop and grape them in front of a bunch of people in broad daylight. Also, can't hear you if you're out of the app.
Excuse me. I was getting my computer.
Yep.
I have a list of quotes in my notes. Excuse me.
Okay, well, if you're just going to read me random quotes that aren't related to what I'm talking about, that's not going to be super helpful.
I have quotes in my computer that I keep.
Okay, is this related to the story I'm talking about, or are you just going to read me
course,
vague
yes.
platitudes about God being love and being kind to your wife?
It's related to what you're talking about.
I'm not sure it will be.
Mind you, well, it will be. Mind you, I said in the chat that Christians aren't a monolith. Would you agree with that statement?
Sure, but I'd say that some of the central tenets that almost all Christians hold also demonstrate that they don't understand consent. So...
Well, they're not a monolith, so that means what?
Yeah, so what by definition is a Christian?
Someone that believes in Jesus Christ is the Son and Lord and Savior.
Do most Christians believe that Jesus was born of a virgin?
Yes.
There's a way that Christians don't understand
How's
consent.
that have anything to do with consent?
Oh, because God impregnated Mary when she was a child and was not able to consent.
Mary prayed to God and asked how she can serve him and how can she, be the vessel.
No, she was told that she was going to be the vessel.
No, she prayed to God.
She was told by Gabriel that she was going to be a vessel.
She prayed to God and the Holy Spirit came down.
It was not the Holy Spirit, it was an angel.
I'll be right back. I'll get the quote for you.
I'd like a quote about what we were talking about before you tried to pivot.
All right, I'm getting it.
Lying for Jesus is right. We're gonna take this moment. We got more super chats. We got at Glitterlock on YouTube saying, Joseph is dumb. Like the lollipop bitch, you know it. And also, Glitterlock said, also, cunt and fuck, but the U's are replaced with these. Damn super chat censoring. That is right. Yeah. Yeah, the fact that they're like, yeah, we understand consent, but this child asked to be impregnated. It just proves that right. Oh my goodness. Like, it's great when Christians just like prove my point for me, right?
So you're claiming that Samuel, his wife was raped, correct?
No. In 2 Samuel, David's wives were raped as a punishment to David. It's 2 Samuel 12. Can't hear you if you're not in the stream. You have to be in here for us to be able to hear you.
I'm listening.
No, I'm just saying we can't hear you if you're not in the app.
I know, I'm listening. I have it in the notes of my phone, so I'm going back and forth.
Okay. So, David's wives were raped as punishment to David. YouTube, I'm sorry that you can't see that he just keeps leaving the app.
Oh, okay.
You're not saying anything because you keep leaving when you start to talk.
I didn't say anything. You said that David's wives were raped.
Then do you want to respond to that?
I said they weren't.
They weren't. So being held under threat of violence and being forced to have sex with someone is not rape.
They weren't raped. They were never forced to have sex with anyone.
Proving me fucking right, dude. Proving me fucking right. So, Joseph, if a man held you hostage and forced you to have sex with him, would that be rape?
If a man held me hostage?
And forced you to have sex with him, would that be rape?
That man wouldn't be living, I can tell you right now.
Oh, you're so tough, Joseph. But would that be rape?
Yeah. That wouldn't happen to me, so... I mean, it would be rape, but I'm telling you that didn't happen to them.
Just a quick thing. If you didn't eat breakfast today, how would you feel?
If I don't eat breakfast. I go to the gym. That's my breakfast.
Oh, Joseph, you can't keep making it too easy for me. So you said it would be rape if a man held you hostage and forced you to have sex with him. That is what Absalom did to these concubines. So how would it be rape if it happened to you, but not rape because it happened to them?
Can you prove it happened to them?
Yep, read 2 Samuel 16. Absalom has taken over the palace. He has staged a coup. The 10 concubines were left behind to keep watch over the home. Absalom, with a group of men, takes these women up onto the rooftop and has sex with them. They are his hostages at this point. And if they did this consensually, the penalty would be death. So there's no reason why they would have done it consensually.
But the text nowhere explicitly says that they were raped.
If they had done it consensually, they would have been put to death. If they wanted to have sex with Absalom, who was their stepson, by the way, they would have done it in secret, not in front of a bunch of people, when it would have put them at risk of execution. It would be illogical for them to consent to this, knowing it would get them put to death.
Okay.
There's also the fact that
The
God
point
says,
being,
I'm
can
going
you
to
give me
make this
more
happen.
evidence? Can you give me more
Yeah,
evidence?
there's also the fact that God says, I will take your wives before your eyes and give them to your neighbor, and he shall lie with them in broad daylight, which, when God says something is going to happen, it's going to happen. So the women did not have an option to say no.
You're continuing to read from Samuel?
That's back in 2 Samuel 12. And I'm not
Yeah,
reading.
I said,
That's
can you
just
give me a
that's
second?
off the dome.
Can you give me another one?
Oh, so do you concede that this was grape?
No, it says nowhere in the Bible that it was rape, so no.
Yeah, again, so let's do the thing that Christians love and look into the context, right? So the context is that these women were being held hostage as part of a coup. The context is that if they had willingly consented, they would have been executed for it. And the context is, even if they did want to willingly consent to it, it would be illogical for them to decide to do so in public in front of a bunch of people where they would get executed for it rather than in private. The context is also that God explicitly says that he's going to make this happen, which means there's no possible way that it wouldn't have happened. Therefore, the women did not have a choice in the matter. All of those things put together shows that it's grape, and if you deny that it is grape, you are just demonstrating to me and everyone else in here that Christians do not understand consent.
I mean, we do. I can't speak for the entirety of Christianity, but I can speak for myself.
You've demonstrated that you don't.
How so?
By saying that this would not be grape, when it is very obviously, by so many definitions, non-consensual sexual contact.
Use the word rape.
I'm not claiming it uses the word. I'm claiming the action that the event that occurs because God set it in motion is grape.
That's how you interpret it.
That's not interpretation.
That's what the Bible is. It's
That's
how
what
you
the Bible
interpret the
says.
context.
Okay, how do you interpret the context
Of Samuel?
of the thing we're
Of
talking
Samuel?
about? Yeah.
All right, let me get my notes. I'll be right back. I'm not reading off a computer screen like you.
I'm reading chat. I'm not reading anything else.
Sure.
Always a compliment, because what I've got pulled up is I've got TikTok Studio, I've got chat, I've got OBS, I've got Joel's music, and in the background I do have a screen that I haven't read off of yet, but it is Planned Parenthood of Greater Ohio's article on the Fry's model. So hey, Peg the Patriarchy, I see you. Love the bangs, thank you. My notes are on graph paper. No, you're talking about my favorite version of the Bible, which is loose pile of graph paper. And yes, I do just keep this around so I can do this bit occasionally. I have no other reason to have graph paper in my daily life. So, loose pile of graph paper for the win. It's my favorite version of the Bible. Glitterlock sent another super chat to say, I interpret the David's wife story to mean Joseph is a fucking moron. It's weird. We have such a similar interpretation. Joseph, we still cannot hear you. I don't know how much you're looking at your notes here.
The Bible interprets this as him committing a great wrong.
Who?
Abraham.
Sorry?
The guy you're claiming that did the rape.
Absalom?
Absalom, that's what I said.
I thought you said Abraham. I
Absalom.
was like, whoa, that's not the
I'm
right
not
guy.
talking about Lincoln. Ha 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 ha. Good joke.
gonna say that every time I crack a joke. I'm gonna go, good joke, afterwards.
Right? It's funny. See, I have a sense of humor.
Yeah, you definitely do. Good joke. So
Ha ha ha. Good one.
So, Joseph, are you going to tell us a little bit more about what your notes say?
I believe Christianity. I believe myself as a Christian. I believe I understand consent. I know there are some people in this world that do not understand consent, and they don't have to be Christian. They can be Muslim.
Wonderful, Joseph.
They can be. Let me finish.
Joseph,
They can be Jewish. They can be Islamic. You can't rope a group of people into a, circle and say, you guys don't understand consent.
Some of us are left wing, some
in
of
the
us are
Bible
right
I do
wing.
and do not.
But last time I checked, it takes 2 wings to fly. We are community. We are society. We are the world.
Sure.
Yeah, so what do your notes say about the thing we were actually talking about?
I don't believe that they were raped. That's
what your notes say?
Yes.
Interesting. I do have to wonder, how do you have notes on this when you didn't know about this story before?
I have on my computer. I read the Bible in my free time.
So you hadn't heard this before, but you'd somehow taken notes on it?
Command F, and then I read it through it, and then I use Google to interpret it, and I have the notes summarized to me.
So, again, how did you have notes on this if you weren't aware of the story before?
I have the Bible on my computer. I searched the key word.
Okay, so you're saying you didn't have notes ahead of time. You're admitting that you searched for the verse.
I have the Bible word for word in my computer. Yeah, Command F. And then
No, Joseph, you claimed that you were reading from your notes.
Yeah, my notes. The Bible
How
is
did
my
you
notes.
take the Bible is your notes?
Yes,
The entire Bible is your notes.
it's every Christian's, every Catholic's. Yes.
Okay. Interesting. I should have used that one because I went to a religious school.
So did I.
So if whenever I had a Bible test, I should have been like, it's open note, right? And just brought my entire Bible.
You got tested on the Bible? What uses the CCD?
Well, I went to a non-denominational Christian school for preschool, elementary, middle school, and high school.
I never had a class test me on the Bible. So I don't know.
I had mandatory Bible classes.
I had mandatory Bible classes too, but there was never a test.
Never a test? Damn. Well, that makes
No.
sense. It seems like your whatever school you went to also didn't have any reading tests.
It did. I don't know. You can say insults, but words
Good
do not
joke.
hurt. I mean, it was worded as an insult, so.
No, it's fine. I'm sure that like your reading tests were very difficult, but your mom graded very fairly. It's just you
I mean,
definitely
hey,
lied.
never go down the insult route.
Yeah, you definitely lied to my face and said that you had notes on this verse because I asked you,
I
you
told you
have
the
notes on
Bible
this
is
verse
my notes.
specifically. Yeah, that's bullshit that you're coming up with because you're on the
Whoa,
spot.
whoa, whoa, like I said, hey, grown lady, don't use that language.
Not a lady. And I'll use whatever language I want to.
Hey, what's an elliptical?
What's an elliptical?
Yeah.
Are you just trying to like point out that I'm like fat?
No, I'm asking what's an elliptical.
Well, we are in an elliptical orbit around the sun.
Yeah, so we're moving.
Yes.
What are you doing right now?
What am I doing right now?
Yeah.
Wondering how the fuck people like you function in society.
Oh, okay.
Good joke.
Okay. What's a shower? I mean, are you inferring a shower as in what you used to bathe yourself in?
I
or
didn't
a
ask you that,
shower
Joseph.
in the 1940s.
Joseph, I didn't ask you that.
Sorry, I just get added and I have to respond.
You really don't.
Yes, I do.
Okay,
You
well,
wanna know
if
my
Joseph has to
favorite
respond
thing?
to every comment, you guys know what to do.
Ready for this? See, Kyle.
Oh, that fucking makes sense. Wow! You showed your fucking true colors, didn't you? If you want to be more like Joseph, convert to Christianity. And all of you in here who are defending him. So you'll say that shit, but I can't say fuck? Yeah, that really tracks, does it? Like, the fact that none of us are surprised says so much. Ah, I couldn't see that in his username. It just came up with his display name for me, so I didn't know that he had the 88 in there, or else I wouldn't have fucking let him up at all. But, Joseph, thank you for making my job much easier here. You demonstrated that not only do you not know what consent is, you barely know how to read, you don't understand humor, you police grown adults' language, and also you're a fucking Yahtzee? Uh-oh! Pick a struggle, my guy. 88, for those who don't know, is a dog whistle, because H is the 8th letter, so people use 88 in place of HH, which is a reference to a phrase that Germans used to talk about a certain dictator in the 40s. But I do have something to thank Joseph for, because now I got a new bit, and that is saying good joke. So... Glitterlock sent a super chat to say, wow, I feel vindicated for going hard at Joseph. Yeah, you saw that one quick. And Flockmeister says, your brain on indoctrination, I heard Abraham. That's because he said Abraham. Definitely fucked that one up because he was reading from ChatGPT. Happens. Welcome up, Sober Squared. Can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
I'm sober. And he,
well, I'm not. What?
19.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not, to be clear, I'm not opposition. I just kind of wanted to get your view on things. Just kind of like trying to widen my understanding of stuff, you know?
I only let up friendlies on Sundays, so have a good evening, Sober, but thank you for coming up. Yeah, the what's an elliptical was definitely like trying to set up for a fat joke. And it's like, wow, I've never heard that one before. Next, you're gonna point out how many chins I have. Woo! Be creative, right? How are we doing tonight, everybody? I had quite a few people join in since I last did a little check-in. We had a good Friday. We got any fun plans this weekend? Tomorrow, my partner and I are going to go see Obsession. We do also need to go see Backrooms, but we haven't gotten to see Obsession yet. If you are new here, go ahead and throw a follow or a sub my way. We'd love to have you here. And if you're on the FYP and you haven't clicked in, am I not good enough for you? What? You still haven't... You just gotta tap the screen and then you're in here. You just gotta tap, and then you don't have to like keep waking your device up either if you have like the auto off function on, because once you tap in, you don't have to keep doing that. But then you can keep tapping the screen instead. Anyway. What did I see? I saw something about Backrooms in here. You get to go on a group bike ride tomorrow. 80-mile ride Sunday. Holy shit. That's a long ride. I'm not very good at riding a bike. I will be straightforward with you about that. I am not good at riding a bike. I haven't ridden one in like a decade now. And the last time that I did, I rode it right into a fence. I don't know if it's the neurodivergence, but like I don't handle controlling like manual vehicles very well. Like I'm not good at roller skating or skateboarding or scootering or riding a bike. I'm just not. I don't have great balance in that aspect, which is funny because, like, I also used to do track. Like, I did track in middle school, high school, and some in college. So people are like, oh, you must have been, like, so athletic. No, there's a reason I did the one where you run in a circle. There is a good reason I did the one where you just go whoop, 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 whoop. Noise optional. Good joke. Yeah. Wasn't my thing. Track or field? No, I did track. I did the 800. That was my specialty. I also did other longer distance events just because we needed it on my team. I did cross country as well. But yeah, primarily track and the 800. The older I got, the more I preferred the shorter distance stuff. When I was, like, tiny and I could just, like, run forever, then I liked the really long ones. Good joke sounds like something Rocky from Project Hail Mary would say on repeat. Amaze, amaze, amaze. Good joke. Statement. Yoga is fun. Have I tried? I have. I feel weird about it. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I was told that it was demonic so much as a child. But yoga just makes me feel strange. Oh, fuck the 800, you hate yourself. Some people do say that, because it's just long enough that you really hurt. That and the 400, you know? It's those where you can't quite sprint it. But hey, I really dug the 800. It was, like, my best event by far. And it's better than doing the 32 on a track, alright? Or, fucking forbid, the 5K? I saw people do a 5K on an indoor track that was a 200 meter. No. Not gonna get me to do that. Solitary yoga is great. Group class, nope. See, yeah, that's probably the thing. I would need to be in a very contained environment. I get very overstimulated in, like, group class environments. I tried to do bar, like BARRE. Could not do that because they had, like, the dim lights and, like, the blaring sound and music, and they were just like, all right, now we're gonna do this. I walked out. No. No. Not my thing. I can't just be inundated with sound. I wear these, like, all the time, not just when I'm streaming. I like having the noise cancellation, and I like that people don't just automatically assume they can talk to me, right? Because you got these big old things on. People, for the most part, aren't gonna fuck with you. So, that's a great thing. Now, I will say, we don't have Christians in here, requesting, but we might if you guys tap that screen. Tap that screen like it owes you money. Don't like that. Good joke? Question? I should try goat yoga. Okay, that I've been thinking about doing because there is a place somewhat near us that does have goat yoga. I have very much considered it. That's I might make an exception to be a part of a goat yoga class because then I would get to be around goats. You'll tap the screen like you have a solid emotional connection. Yes. Yes. Tap that screen consensually. If we've got some people in here who want to request up, you are welcome to request up. I mean, you can't be worse than the last guy, right? As long as you don't heil on your way out, then you're fine. You're spiritually tapping the screen? Thank you. The amount of spiritual likes on my stream is just steadily climbing. I can feel it. Ashley, you teach skating to adults. I might need to take that fucking class. I wanted to do roller derby because I just thought I'd be cool at it, and also, like, I'm queer. Good joke. Good joke becomes our robot goat's new vocal stem. Fuck, I read that right after I said it. But yeah, I'm still kind of interested in it. I'm just not very coordinated. I don't think I do a very good job at it. Even when I used to like roller skate at people's like birthday parties, I would do it wrong. I would like keep one leg stationary and I would just paddle with the other. So if I kept doing that and I did roller derby, I would have one really buff leg. And one little twig leg. Well, on me it would be a twig, right? We still got tree trunks going, but that's what we got. You kicked ass at roller skating when you were younger? Hey, I wish I did. I looked very strange doing it. Michael says, arrogant pig! Some sort of like Game of Thrones style insult. At least I'm not a runner on TikTok. I can't be. That would be very awkward. Imagine if I was just like in the middle of a debate and I'm like, guys, I'm doing so bad, and just ended the stream. Fuck. Oh, that would be brutal. Can't say I've ever gotten to that place before. Hopefully I never will. Someone says God is a fictional character. Hell yeah. That's how PMARS debates. Oh no. I haven't really been in any of PMARS streams, but I've heard things. As I'm sure many had. The Bible never says women can't lie with women. Bible's alright with lesbians. Bible's alright with lesbians. You know, it's not the first time that the Bible has a fixation with the L word, right? PMARS is a Gary clone. Yeah, I can kind of see that. You know, Gary hasn't been here. I don't think I blocked Gary. But Gary hasn't been in here for a while. Strange how that works. If we've got any Christians over here... Oh, he blocked me? Maybe. If we got any Christians in chat over on TikTok, go ahead and request up. You'd be first in queue. I'm fine bantering. Listen, I'm here to bant. I don't like how that sounded. I don't know. I think the Bible is super okay with lesbians and never says it isn't. There you go. The context is that lesbians are okay. Gare Bear and Deathless Light have such distinctive voices and shitty attitudes. Yeah. Oh, Deathless. Oh, I have some bits prepared for the next time Deathless decides to stop by my stream. I think I have him blocked on at least one of his accounts. I don't know if I have him blocked on his like actual Deathless account, but I do on the Final Boss one just because he kept like spam requesting. But I did get him to shut up one time, like a while back, by saying, like, talk if you're gay. And he was just absolutely silent for several minutes. That was great. Snowflake tears shat themselves over on YouTube. I just thought you guys on TikTok should also know that. Welcome in, Ashley.
Hello?
Hey there! I'm assuming your name is Ashley, so can I get your age and pronouns?
My age, I'm 23, and my pronouns are she, her.
All
Even
right.
though I don't really think that's kind of valid, but it's
You
she,
don't-
her.
Hey, no, your pronouns are valid. Don't worry.
No, you know what I meant, but okay.
No, I don't. Do you need to talk about it? Are you feeling that you might have a different gender identity?
No, could we, like, skip the condescending stuff and just, like, go on with the debate and stuff?
Whoa, Ashley. Chill. We're accepting of people of all identities here.
I'm sure you are. So can we debate?
Wow. You got kind of a tood. That's short for attitude, Ashley. Yeah.
Oh, I got a tood? You a
Yeah.
valley girl?
Oh my god, yeah.
It's kind of grody. Okay, let's just debate, okay?
Gag me with a spoon.
Oh my god. Okay, let's debate. So you say Christians don't understand consent, but you yourself don't have objective morality. So how could you add moral status to consent?
Did I give a moral judgment of consent, or did I just say the Christians don't understand consent?
Well, if you're an atheist, or you say you're an agnostic atheist, you can't have morality.
That's not true. You can have subjective morality, and some people hold to, like, moral realism, and they would claim that they do have objective morality despite being atheists. But Ashley, the topic tonight is, do Christians understand consent? It is not making
So
a moral
you don't want to
judgment.
talk about moral realism, even though it's completely related?
It's not related. It's just you trying to pivot to an argument you're more comfortable with.
How it's related.
If I'm not making a moral claim about consent, then it's not related.
Okay, that's fair. But, like, do you think it's wrong for someone to not understand consent?
You're just using that to try to bait me into talking about objective morality,
It's a yes or
Ashley.
no. It's a yes or no. It's
It's
yes or no.
unrelated. I don't think it's objectively wrong because I don't believe in objective
answer the
morality.
question? Can I, like, ask one question about the prompt? Is
not
that allowed?
It's not really about the prompt because everyone here sees it's a segue to you to try to pivot to a completely different topic. So
Why are
Ashley,
you so scared to talk about moral realism?
I'm not scared to talk about it. It's not the topic of the stream. But Ashley, you also
why don't you talk about it
also
if it
don't
can
have
prove me
objective
wrong?
You also don't have objective morality.
How? My morality is contingent on a like eternal being. If
A
he created
being,
everything,
you
if he
say.
created the
A
universe.
being, you say, Ashley.
Yeah, guess what the being created?
Is
morality, which is
this
objective.
being?
Guess what the being also created? Logic, which is
Is this
objective.
being an object or a subject?
Neither.
Neither. It's not a subject. So this being doesn't have a mind.
It doesn't need one.
It doesn't need. So God is mindless.
It's neither that either. It's beyond our understanding.
It's neither that either. Fuck, Ashley, you got me so good. So is God mindless?
I said it's neither.
I didn't give you a choice there. I said, is God mindless?
You did. You said mindless or have a mind, and I said neither.
I asked
if you,
you,
could say,
is
if you're
God...
gonna make a false dichotomy, why can't I say yes or no to
Ashley, I didn't make a false dichotomy. I asked you, is God mindless?
I said neither.
That's not an answer to, is God mindless?
You want, like, so you're just gonna ignore the past context?
I'm clarifying with an additional question. Is God mindless?
No.
God is not mindless, so God does possess a mind.
See, you did either or when I said it's neither.
Okay, one either does or does not have a mind. That's not a false dichotomy. There's no other state besides mindless or having a mind.
Well, that only applies to, like, sentient beings that are on Earth, but we're talking about an eternal being here. You can't apply that there.
That would also apply to God, unless you don't think that logic applies to God.
Why would it apply to God?
If God is subject to logic, then every being either must have a mind or must not have a mind.
Yeah, but that's for, like, sentient beings who are, like, natural. We're talking about the supernatural.
That's all beings. They either have a mind, and when I say mind, I'm clarifying, like, let me just clarify. I don't mean, like, a literal brain. A mind just refers to, like, having consciousness, having agency, having a will. So if you...
I don't think God would have those features.
You don't think God would have a will?
That's like a life feature.
Okay, so God doesn't have a will. So the will of God is not a thing.
No.
Okay, so God is not conscious. God does not have a will. God does not have a mind. What does your God have?
God would be outside of our understanding, but
okay, then how do you think you understand him?
It created the universe.
If God is outside of our understanding,
I don't understand him. That's why I can't give you a straight answer because I don't understand him.
Okay, so how can you claim to know that he's real if he's beyond our understanding?
Faith.
So not evidence?
How can you have evidence for a positive claim?
How can you have evidence for a positive claim?
I said such as a supernatural claim. You can't have evidence for that besides personal experience.
No, people have what they present as evidence for supernatural claims all the time. You never watched Ghost Adventures? You never seen Zach Baggins be like,
hey,
oh, dude, I got scratches on me.
Reliable evidence.
I mean, that's moving the goalpost.
Okay, well, sorry. I meant reliable evidence.
Okay, so you can't have reliable evidence for something. Yeah, I think you should believe in things that you have evidence for. And I would
Yeah, I
specify
have my
it's
own
best if
evidence,
it's
but it's not
reliable.
reliable.
Okay, so you have
Like, I can't
unreliable.
convince someone else of my personal experience. That's why it's not reliable.
Well, whether or not you can convince someone else doesn't determine whether or not something is reliable. Reliability just refers to how valid the evidence is.
Okay, well, I'd say my evidence is valid, but it's not reliable.
It's valid but not reliable. What are you using reliable to mean?
Proven or understandable.
Understandable. So it's valid but it's not understandable.
Mm-hmm. Like,
How
if
do you
I said
understand
God
it?
came to me and tickled my feet, like, that would be valid, but it's not really understandable.
No, it's understandable in that God is a creep with a foot fetish.
No, because how can you understand, like, an all... I'm sorry. An all-powerful being going down into my bed at night and then tickling my feet? That's not understandable, but it's valid because it's, like, logically possible.
Things aren't valid just because they're logically possible.
That's what I mean by valid.
Okay, you're using a lot of just fun, really idiosyncratic definitions for things here, Ashley.
You're using a lot of, like, long words that don't really add to the conversation.
I'm sorry. But the words that I'm using are, like, they're useful, they're necessary, right? Besides idiosyncratic, which ones did I use that you would like me to clarify what I mean?
Oh, it was just that one.
Okay, so yeah, that just means that you're using ones that aren't really common definitions, you're just using ones that you think work for you. Like, they're your personal definitions rather than any, like, agreed upon definition. So if I were to say, like, oh yeah, when I mean that something is soft, I actually mean that it's, like, very rough to the touch. That would be, like, a very idiosyncratic definition because nobody else, when they think of soft, would think of that, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, I get what that means. How does that apply to our conversation?
Yeah, so you were saying that, when you're talking about reliability and validity, it's based off of whether it can be understood, which that's not like a necessary quality for reliability.
I wouldn't really say that's idiosyncratic.
Hey, you did a good job of saying it, though.
Really?
Yeah.
I found out recently that arthritis is arthritis and not arthritis. So I think I'm like getting good at like pronunciation. I know. I was really embarrassed.
That's all right. Do you say espresso?
No. Same. I don't say wait, what is it? It's like people mess up specific. They say Pacific. Oh
Pacific?
Yeah, I say that right. Yeah. See, I can do most things right. Like when it doesn't boil down to accents. Like same way. Like when I first heard of Croatia, I thought it was Croatia, but it's Croatia. I'm sorry.
Mamma
I'm sorry.
mia.
I was like in 7th grade. Okay.
Mamma mia, Croatia.
I've never seen Mamma Mia. I'm sorry.
Aw. So back to the conversation at hand. Yeah. I think that we should believe in things that we have good evidence for. If you're solely doing it off of faith and personal experience, I don't think that that's reliable enough to make a determination about something like the existence of God.
Why not?
Because I, again, think that you should believe in things that you have good reason to believe them for. Like, if I thought that I had an experience with...
a good reason, it's not even subjective, it's arbitrary. Like, I could say, like, my good reason is because of this experience. But if I told you about, like, an experience I had, you say that's not good reason.
Well, yeah, because people of, like, all religions have had experiences that they think are their God reaching out to them. So if I take yours to be proof of your God, then I would have to take everybody else's as proof of their God. So that would mean that every religion is equally valid because there have been people who claim they've experienced their God.
It's valid to, like, certain groups of people, not all people. That's why it's arbitrary.
Yeah, no, but again, like, the crux of my issue here is you're saying that you believe this because you had this personal experience. Well, a bunch of people have had personal experiences with different gods. So how can you claim that yours is more real than theirs?
Because mine follows the evidence of Christianity, and theirs doesn't.
And theirs would follow the evidence of their religion.
And I just say, like, that's why it's not valid to me, and it's the same way that my experience isn't valid to you.
But then your experience is only valid to people who are already Christian.
No, like, other Christians wouldn't believe me when I said that God came and tickled my feet, but it's still my experience.
Okay, so it's not even valid to other Christians. So yeah, that's not valid.
No, that's why I say it's
to anybody.
arbitrary. It really depends on the person.
But again, Ashley, if I had someone who, like, they're a Muslim and they come to me and they say, hey, Allah gave me this very personal experience and revealed
Allah,
himself
not
to me.
Allah.
Sorry, did I pronunciate it wrong?
Yeah, you said Allah.
Holla, good joke. So if I had a Muslim come to me,
I don't get it.
If I had a Muslim come to me and say that their God revealed himself to me in a vision, and he told me that he was the real God, and all those other gods are fake, and Christianity is wrong, if I take your claim seriously, I would also have to take his claim seriously, but those would be contradicting claims.
Right, that's why I'm saying it's arbitrary. You don't have to believe it.
Okay, you just keep saying arbitrary.
Am I pronouncing it right?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's not really the proper usage of it here.
Well, I'd say because it's less than subjective, because, subjective more relies on evidence instead of just personal whim. But I'd say this is literally just personal whim from your own biases.
Okay. You're saying then that there's no real utility to any of these experiences. You can't prove that they're valid. They can't be used to convince anybody else that they're valid.
So often, because you can debate all this and you will never be proven wrong or right because it's arbitrary.
No, I debate because I enjoy it. I have changed my opinion on
Right, but
things
if you
through
enjoy
debates
it, you wouldn't
before.
enjoy it if you were constantly proven wrong. So you enjoy it because you aren't constantly proven wrong.
And what does that say to you?
Oh, that just says that's respectable. But, like, I would do it, but I don't know. All that says to me is that, like, this is like an infinite content glitch. You have endless debates because you guys can never come to a conclusion.
Well, that's just kind of the nature of debates in general. Like, if things were absolutely settled, then there would be no such thing as debate. So you could say that about literally any topic.
Not really. Like, debates have been settled before. That's not really my point. Like, debates in the context of, like, God or Christianity is never really settled because the arbitrary standard of evidence is just that.
You keep saying arbitrary.
What's wrong with that? How many times do I have to say it until you get what I'm saying?
Well, if you used it correctly, that would help. But just saying useless evidence, like whether or not you believe useless evidence is arbitrary.
It's useless to you.
It's logically useless. Because people...
Yeah, logically useless, but people don't find, like, evidence for things based off of just logic. That's why supernatural claims exist.
Ashley. So you're admitting that it's not logical?
Oh my god. No, I'm talking about, like, it's like colloquial. I mean, like, the laws of logic.
Right, so if you're saying it doesn't follow the laws of logic, you're saying it's illogical.
But you think of, like, a lot of things that don't really follow the laws of logic. Like, you could just say, like, the supernatural doesn't follow the laws of logic. Boom, you proved the supernatural wrong. You didn't.
I'm not sure what you think you just did there.
Is that because you don't have a response?
Are you saying that God is illogical?
No. Holy straw man.
You said the supernatural would go against the laws of logic. If God is supernatural...
I didn't.
So the supernatural doesn't go against the laws of logic.
I didn't say that either.
It either does or does not. There's not a middle ground there.
Well, I'm recounting the conversation. Like, I'm talking about semantics.
Okay, so let me
clarify.
Yeah, I'll clarify. Does the supernatural violate the laws of logic or not?
Yeah.
Okay, so the supernatural would be illogical. Is God supernatural?
Yeah.
Therefore, God is illogical.
Yeah.
All right. I think we've settled it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm an atheist, but I just really like your stuff. I'm sorry. That's why I want to talk about moral realism, because like I saw like someone mention like you can have objective morality as an atheist, and I was like, what if you have objective morality as an atheist?
Don't waste my time. I'm not really cool with that, so I asked that other people not do that.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hey, what's up? Can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
I'm Serene. I'm 28. She, her.
Serene. All right. What is your religion or lack thereof?
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me see if you're in my headphones or on my phone. Will you say something really quick?
Something really quick.
Okay, cool. You're in my headphones. Sorry. Okay. I'm Roman Catholic.
Gotcha. Well, do Christians understand consent?
Could you start with your side so I understand what I'm answering?
My side. Yeah, I don't think the Christians understand consent. Because when presented with violations of consent in the Bible, Christians consistently defend them and claim that they are not violations of consent.
Like in Old Testament, all that fucked up stuff.
Also in the New Testament.
Yeah, I mean, I heard you earlier that you were referencing like a lot of mostly Old Testaments. I don't know if that's what you're.
Yeah, but
utilizing
also
for your-
like
for your
the
argument.
impregnation of Mary.
Mhm.
That's a violation of
So-
consent.
Do you want to? I guess I don't want to box you in. I don't know if you wanted to focus on one or the other because it's such a crazy topic to break down. I don't want to be all over the place, and that's why I think a lot of this stuff gets derailed. Is everybody starts to like respond to the like things that aren't like on the topic, and then the chat blows up, and they're like, "Can you fucking get someone with a brain cell in here?" They're talking all over the place. So I don't know what side you wanted to specifically focus on.
I'm not sure what you mean by side.
I'm using the wrong word. Sorry, I'm like hotboxing in my car.
I
like,
can't do that on my stream. Serene. Serene! You can't say that! You can't fucking say that on my stream, dude. Okay. Alright.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hey, girl. What's
I'm a s-
up? Are you girl, or do I say they, or
You
no?
can just say hey.
Okay.
So, Ashley, can I get your age and your pronouns?
Yes, I'm 34. I'm considered intersex, so some people call me she and some people call me he, so I don't mind.
Do you have a preference?
I think for this we should try he, but
He?
I don't
Okay.
know if I can sound very manly for you, but we'll try. So
Sounds fine. Can I ask your religion or lack thereof?
Yes, so I came over here from YouTube. I'm Roman Catholic, and I'm actually in the clergy.
Oh,
If you
interesting.
can believe that.
Intersex clergy. I didn't know
Yeah.
that was allowed. I thought clergy were supposed to avoid sex. Good joke.
I'm supposed to be celibate at this part of my life, so, but I have a history of being not a clergy member, so some life experience.
I mean, I would say that's the case for most people. I don't think people are really born into being clergy.
If they join seminary very early, they could be virgins for life.
Little
going into
baby,
your
little
priesthood.
baby priest.
Yeah, some of them never
Baby
have sex
priest,
with
new
anyone.
sitcom idea. If
I
any
would
of you
love to
develop
see
that,
a
I get
sitcom about
royalties.
priests.
It's got to be a baby priest specifically. Anyway, Ashley,
Okay.
do Christians understand consent?
I think we do. Will be my position for this.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you condemn God having David's wives raped as a punishment?
So, are we talking about the Samuel verse you were talking about?
Yes.
I disagree that he is saying they're going to be raped by someone.
So when he says, I will take your wives before your eyes and give them to your neighbor, and he will lie with them in broad daylight.
When God gives people to other people, how does he do that?
I would say that he sets up circumstances in which those people are forced into certain situations.
Do you feel like he moves over their heart to encourage them, or are they completely forced one way or another?
In some situations, like when he hardens Pharaoh's heart.
Right, that's exactly what I was thinking.
But in this situation, which I would think that, like, the hardening of Pharaoh's heart would just be a violation of free will. But was there
peculiar.
Is there any chance that the wives would have been able to say no and that they wouldn't have lain with Absalom?
I think in their time period, they're probably more like bargaining chips. Those women probably had less rights than men.
Yeah, I agree, but that doesn't mean it's not great.
You would have to say that every woman in an arrangement like that with royalty back then was being raped when they had sex with people.
Yeah.
I think sometimes the girls were excited about what was going on, and some of them were probably like, I don't want to be a part of this. I don't think everybody was a sex slave.
Could they have denied sex to royalty if they were kept as a concubine?
It depends on the monarch. I mean, some of the kings in the Old Testament were so tyrannical, and God was like not happy with them at all. So they
That
sin,
didn't
and
really
then some
answer
of
my
them repent.
question.
What was your question?
Like, if they were concubines to a monarch, did they have the option to say no to sex with that monarch?
My answer to your question is it depends on the monarch and how tyrannical they are.
Okay, so you think that they would take these women specifically for the purpose of having sex with them, but give the women the option to deny having sex with them?
I think that the way that those women would have lived with those men, they have conversations in real lives and personalities.
Well, you're not treating
And
the
you're
women like
gonna
they
have-
do. You're treating the women like they're just like, oh yes, I'd love to have sex with the king.
Well, maybe, but that's not in the scripture there.
That's just, that's an assumption that you made, and it's kind of icky. Because, yeah, anytime a woman was coerced into having sex with anyone, or didn't have the ability to say no, particularly without punishment, you know, like maybe they just didn't feel that they had the right to say no, maybe they faced particular punishment that they said no, that's not consensual, that is grape.
But so not consenting is rape. But if you're saying all of the women in that scripture piece, you're saying you know exactly how all of that played out. That's just, we don't have that information.
I'm not claiming exactly, but I can give you context that shows that it couldn't have been a consensual encounter, or it's not reasonably a consensual encounter, because, and if you were here last time you heard me talk about this, the punishment for adultery at this time for these women being married would have been death. So why would they choose to commit adultery in broad daylight in front of a crowd? If they were that desperate to sleep with their stepson, why wouldn't they do it in secret where there's less risk of punishment? Additionally, they were being held hostage as Absalom, like, stormed the palace via a coup and were surrounded by men. That's not a consensual situation.
I think it's consensual. I think
then you just proven this.
I think that they're in a certain caste system, those women.
That doesn't make it consent.
I still think it's consent. Because
You
we
don't
have
have
proof-
any. You don't have any grounding for why it's consent.
Well, consent means the women are okay with their arrangement or with
No.
sleeping with certain people.
No, it does not mean they're okay with it. There's many
that's what consent
facets to
means.
consent.
Okay.
Have you heard of the Fry's model?
I have not, no.
So the Fry's model, it's an acronym that demonstrates the different aspects needed for sex to be consensual. So the F stands for freely given. If they are being held hostage by Absalom, are they capable of freely giving consent?
I don't remember it saying anyone's being held hostage.
So they are at the palace. They were left behind by David, completely alone in the palace when Absalom
They would not
storms
have
the
been
palace
alone.
via a coup.
They
They
would
were
not have been
alone.
alone. No.
They were alone because David, when he left, specifically took everybody except he left behind those 10 women in particular to watch over the house. It says that everybody else was gone. So prior to it being stormed by all the men who were a part of the coup, yes, they were alone.
That's not what I saw in Samuel 12. You told me Samuel 12?
But it actually comes to fruition in 2 Samuel chapters 15 and 16. And in chapters 15, it specifically says that David left behind only those 10 wives to look after the household while he was gone.
And then someone has sex with them at that point?
It's in chapter 16 where Absalom asks an advisor what he should do, and the advisor says, hey, in a show of power against your father, you should sleep with his concubines that he left behind. So Absalom brings them up onto the rooftop, all the men watch, and he has sex with them in broad daylight.
Where in chapter 16, which I'm looking at right now?
Yeah, it's towards the end of the chapter. I'll have to pull it up.
Okay. And it came to pass when his child, David's friend, was come upon Absalom. God save the king, God save the king. Oh, wow.
Starting in verse 20.
It's very dramatic.
But Absalom said to Ahithophel, give us your counsel, what shall we do? Ahithophel said to Absalom, go into your father's concubines, the ones he has left to look after the house, and all Israel will hear that you have made yourself odious to your father, and the hands of all who are with you will be strengthened. So they pitched a tent for Absalom upon the roof, and Absalom went into his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel.
And the council, which council was it? I don't agree that that's raping any concubines, which may not have just been women in there, truth be told. It could be a collection of people in there.
It was women. It specifically says wives in other places and in other translations.
Well, I still don't have a problem with these ancient kings and palaces having
sex slaves,
not
yeah.
only-
And that further shows that you don't really understand how consent works. If you can look at a situation where women are being held hostage by their stepson, where they have sex with him, even though if they consensually did so, the penalty would be death, where God had specifically said it was going to happen, so there was no universe in which it didn't happen, and you say, I think that's consensual, yeah, you are just showing that you completely lack any understanding of what consent is.
So you're just saying you're very anti all of the people in the Old Testament and in ancient history who existed in a way where they're called.
I'm anti-rape. You should try it sometime.
You're anti these concubines, specifically.
I think I just made my point very specific. Actually, I advocate for the agency of the concubines, something that you've also failed to do.
Well, I actually tried to claim that some of them probably were okay with their station in life. They get a lot of protection in that position compared to other things going on at that time.
Yeah, and all they have to do is get raped for it. All right, Ashley. I hope you don't treat your parishioners with this same sort of like horrible apathy. Have an evening. He was a fucking piece of work. All right. Hello?
Hi.
Hi there. Can I get your name, age, and pronouns?
Yeah, my name's Braid, 24, she, her.
All right, Bree. What is your religion or lack thereof?
Okay, I think I'm like pretty culturally Christian, kind of leaning into more of like a Christian universalist type. So I really like what you're doing on here to combat. I definitely put like faith above religion, and so how I see Christianity is it's kind of choice is kind of baked into being a Christian. So I really appreciate you challenging harmful views in the church.
Well, thank you. Do you disagree with the prompt above my head?
In like a blanket sense, for sure, but I think a lot of people are proving your point for sure today.
That often happens. So just real quick, the story that we just talked about, that was definitely grape, right?
Oh yeah, 1000%. Like that's if you get people who are very like want to lead biblical lives are definitely very dangerous for looking at an ancient society and the way that we've always treated women horribly and trying to find ways to justify it. When again, like I think choice is like baked into being a Christian, so it's disheartening to see.
Interesting. Would you also condemn God impregnating Mary?
With Mary's impregnation, there is a line where she says like, "Let this happen to me. I am his holy servant." So I do think that was consensual. I think God knew that, God being like this omnipotent energy sense connecting us all together, I think he knew that Mary would be okay with that. I also don't know how accurate the story of that is portrayed in the Bible.
I've got a couple problems with that. Number one is that the marrying age at this time would have been from roughly 12 and a half to 16. And since Mary was engaged or betrothed but not yet married, that would mean that she was 16 or younger. And I understand that like people will say, oh well, back then they were considered to be adults, but if God is all-knowing, he would know that that is a child. He would know that a child is not capable of consenting to something like impregnation. Thank you for the blow bubbles, Lady Dell. So I don't think children can consent to something like that. I don't think that they have the capacity to consent to something of that, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess degree of severity, of that importance. I don't know. I don't think that children can consent to that, number one. Number two, there's a massive power imbalance, right? Because we have, in the context of the Bible, this is presented as all-knowing, all-powerful God of the universe and little girl.
Yeah, I think you'd probably be right with that. Like, again, I'm not very like a biblical person. Like, I haven't actually read most of the Bible. I think I'm just coming back to faith as like an adult, like culturally again.
Can I ask why you specifically consider yourself a Christian then, if you don't really hold to a biblical idea?
I think it's more of the like Jesus's teachings, and then learning more about like Islam and Judaism as an adult, and seeing that like the being Abrahamic religions, the internal like loving of other people, creating I don't think like heaven is a real thing. I think we're supposed to like build it here. And again, it's just like I grew up in like the Lutheran space of society, so I just kind of resonate with that more. I don't think God adheres to one
But if you don't align with the beliefs, then is it really your religion?
I think it's my faith, not my religion, if that makes sense.
Not particularly, because the thing that people have faith in is typically their religion.
Again, it's like, I wish my mom was here. She explained it so much better growing up, as I like, it's more of like, again, the teachings of Jesus and like things that were written down of what he said. Everything else in the Bible gets really hazy for me. Don't know if I would, I don't think it was written in blood, especially with the changes and how the Bible was specifically written and cobbled together eventually has a lot of like shadiness to it. So yeah, again, I'm more of like a Christian universalist.
Well, most of the teachings that Jesus says are not specific to Christianity. So if you want to follow those teachings, you don't have to be a Christian. I would say generally I follow some of Jesus' moral teachings. Now, I don't like calling women racial slurs, so I didn't follow to that teaching of Jesus. But like loving people, yeah, I try to do that.
Yeah,
don't
and I
hurt
think
other
I'm just
people.
really
Yeah, I try not to do that.
And I just grew up in an ELCA church. I think I don't think you need to be in church to have community, but that we've been so separated from community, I think it's the easiest way, as most Americans, unfortunately, since we're such a American nationalist society, it's the easiest way to build connections sometimes. The church I grew up in was really great just in that community sense. And again, it just comes back to like the culture piece of it, like taking communion with family, and just growing up in it. But yeah, I definitely lean more universalist.
Gotcha. I mean, I appreciate like the honesty and the openness. It doesn't it feels like you're just using that label for like comfortability's sake rather than it actually reflecting what you believe. It seems that you're holding to religion because it is what you are used to, because it gives you a community and it's what you're comfortable with.
It could be. Again, like learning more about like universalism. I think I'm definitely going to be looking for more of a space like that, because I think God is bigger than we could like ever know, and to say that like this one book written so hundreds of years ago is going to like have all the answers to everything is definitely not what I believe.
I mean, yeah, I would also agree the Bible definitely doesn't have all the answers that we're looking for. It's just, it feels like I talked with someone about this last night when my topic was that you like basically you shouldn't raise kids Christian, because he was talking about, well, like I grew up in a place where like my community was built around religion and I had that like that social support system, that sense of community with other people. Are you saying my life would have been better if I didn't have that? And the nuance that I tried to introduce was, no, I'm saying it would have been better if you had that community without the religious aspect. And that's kind of similar what I'm feeling here, Bree. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't have community, but if you were able to have that community absent of religion, I think it would probably be more healthy.
Yeah, and I think that's the way I'm living now. I've also gotten into I live in like Southwest Minnesota right now, which is we have like 2 registered tribes out here, lots of like Native community, and I work with Native kids, and learning more about like their faith and spirituality has also like really opened up my eyes, just to be like, and again, like, is there some higher power? We're never gonna know for sure, but I think if there is, that they've put that like universal truth into every understanding of things. I just happen to resonate more with Christianity because I grew up with it, but I think there is that truth into everything. And I find a lot of like comfort in practicing certain aspects of Christianity.
Gotcha. The things that you've referenced, though, they don't really seem like you're practicing Christianity per se, because again, the things that you're saying you like about Christianity are not specific to Christianity. So if those are the ideals that you find comfort in, I would say you're not really finding comfort in Christianity, you're finding comfort in those specific ideals.
Yeah, I would say that like it is more of a cultural thing for me, but I would never like I don't know, that we're like called to invite to the truth, not called to force anyone to believe that. And I don't think that truth needs to be in Christianity in any sense. I think the Bible itself kind of muddies things for a lot of people.
Gotcha. I mean, I appreciate the universalist standpoint, but I don't know if it's very biblically supported. And I think that's why it is relatively rare among Christian denominations to be universalist. Because we see Jesus emphasize that, like, no one gets to the Father except through me, and that there are sinners who are cast into the lake of fire, that there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth, that the liars and the adulterers and the fornicators all have their place in hell. None of that would really make sense if nobody goes to hell.
The way that I've been taught about hell is it's referencing a physical place in the Middle East at that time. And again, that I think we're building heaven here on earth. I think hell is meant to be this, like, if you live in these things in this way that's not healthy for you or for other people, you're going to be in suffering, and to follow this love and this light is to get away from that suffering.
Repeat that last part.
To follow, like, love and light, which is what I think Jesus was representing, was to get away from that suffering.
Gotcha. That's an interesting interpretation. It feels like it's really kind of stretching the meaning a little bit, because it's presented in the biblical text as if, you know, this is a place where sinners are going to go. I don't know. I don't find universalism to be super biblically supported. Those who are universalists tend to not agree with most of the Bible, which is just peculiar. I'm not saying it's like an invalid form of Christianity or anything by any means.
But it stretches what Christians a lot of Christians would even consider Christianity. So
right.
I understand that too. I'm a small little fish in this pond of believers, for sure.
Well, you are a kind fish, much kinder than pretty much anyone else I've had up here tonight, so I appreciate that.
Thank you. Kindness always. That's what my mom said.
Well, thank you, Brie. I am going to go ahead and let you go, but I appreciate you coming up.
Yeah, it was good talking to you, and this is good work for me. Keep doing it yourself.
Well, thank you. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye.
We got a super chat from Garbage Man that says, love this topic. Earliest consideration of consent in Adam's covenant is around the 1600s. They say the consent is, quote, implied. Eve's consent is forced on her for being Adam's helper. It is always interesting to see how people try to interpret, like, Adam and Eve. Because I heard someone ask the other day, you know, does it ever say that Adam and Eve actually loved each other? And that was kind of an interesting thing to think about. Like, does the Bible actually say, hey, Adam and Eve were in love? It's almost more just like a symbiotic relationship in which they have these functions and they remain alive. And is that really the model of a relationship that we want to have? We've got someone hopefully loading in. Yeah, I love when someone is actually loving their neighbor. Yep, that is right. Don't like that. Don't like people just coming in with their camera on. Sorry. That was sketchy as fuck. Well, before Eve, it was Lilith. You know, it's interesting that, that Aspen Hotel mentions Lilith. It's so many depictions in Adam and Eve doesn't do that, but Aspen Hotel did. Hey. They were not given love and procreation until after thrown out of the garden. I mean, that's interesting to say that they didn't have love before they were thrown out, because part of the reason that people say that, you know, we have to have free will is because if you don't choose love, then it's not real love. But, like, would that mean that they didn't love each other when they were pledged to marry? It's interesting. Why did God say they would die, but they didn't? That's another good question, because he says, on the day that you do this, you will die. And they don't. Spoiler. Sorry. Spoiler for those who are just starting the Bible. Alright, Mr. Pibb, I'm going to ask that you make sure you've edited your request so that your camera is off. And I'm going to give you a moment to do that, because if I bring you back up and it's still on, I am just going to immediately drop you again. Oh, that's a good point. Reproductive organs were added later. Did they have them already? It says they were naked, but was it just like smooth down there?
Can you all hear me?
I hear you, but I don't see your guest box. TikTok, are you able to hear the guest?
Okay.
Hold on. Clear? Hold on, let me wait and make sure. Okay, they can. Great. Alright, you're good to go.
Sorry for being it kind of terrible. If that's correct.
I'm so sorry. Pib, your audio is horrible. I cannot understand a single word you're saying. Yeah, that was rough. You can watch the YouTube replay if you want. We're about an hour and 57 in. That was just nothing. It was just it's a lot. So I don't think we're gonna be able to have a conversation tonight. Sorry about that. But I appreciate you coming in. Once again, if you're not subbed on YouTube or following on TikTok, I kindly ask, please, 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 come on, please, please. Good joke. I think, I know we're only 2 hours in or so, but I think I am going to wrap it up unless I get another guest real quick. I will say it looks like Joel and Mezzo are live together, so I'm probably going to go over there and bother them a little bit. But let's go over and watch Joel and Mezzo on their stream and lie in wait. And then when one of them tells a joke, we're all going to say good joke. But it's important for the bit that we're all going to go in there and we're going to wait until they tell a joke and then flood the chat with a good joke. Alternatively, if they say something really unfunny before they say something funny, also spam good joke. Because that would be even funnier. So, does everyone understand their mission? This goes for YouTube and for TikTok. We're all gonna go. I'm gonna be in there too. I'll try to be on both. I got my PC, so I'll be on both. Wait till they say something either really unfunny or really funny, and then we're all gonna say good joke. Don't mention it's a raid. Don't mention it's me. I just like when they get a bunch of strange comments out of nowhere. On that note, have a wonderful rest of your evening. Oh, thank you, Fish Sandwich. I appreciate. Bye.
Come back and let us know atheism made a prophecy.
All right. So, I'm curious. Like, I just wanna put this into a little bit of perspective here, if that's okay. You've been kind of talking a lot. I'd appreciate if I could talk a little bit. So you're talking about these effects. You know, you're looking at the sun kind of plays tricks on your eyes. Has it ever happened to you? Yes. Not only it would need to have. You've seen like hallucinations. You've seen like
Yes.
images of people in the sky. Really,
Not people, but I've seen the sun move. Yeah.
Yeah, you see the sun move, but
Veer,
have you seen like
stared
have
into
you
a light?
seen it like have you seen it like change colors like a disco ball and like kind of move around like that?
Not
kinda
like a
circle
disco
around.
ball, but I've seen it move around and appear to move quickly around through the sky.
Yeah, and I've like stared at certain like
because it does.
Here, hold on. Joel's talking. But
I've looked at certain lights or the sun or things like accidentally, or like it reflects off of a car or something, and you get this like shot in your eyes, and then you see the light like stays in your eye and sometimes like shifts between pink and like different tones.
You
because
blink
it's,
and
like,
it comes back and stuff.
yeah. And I've had optical migraines where like part of my vision is like gone because I'm like having like the eyes and the brain play all sorts of weird tricks.
I have a light right here. I just did it while we were talking. I looked at it for a second and I looked over here and it like moved and faded and swirled
Yeah,
around.
it's just weird stuff. If you've never experienced that, then you live in the dark.
You're telling me you've seen the sun move from one end of the sky to another in a span of a couple seconds, and
Yeah,
things
it
like
looks
that?
like it's doing that. Yes.
Is it okay? But did you see it optically, or did you just imagine it?
No, it's optical. You look at it, it burns into your retinas. So when you move over here, it looks like the sun is moving with you. That's what you're seeing.
Okay, that's like floaters. That's just like
That's what they're describing in fact.
It imprints it in your visual field. That's not what they're describing. They're talking about a torrential downpour, just heavy rain, right? And then all of a sudden the sun comes out, and it comes out like a spinning disc that casts multicolored lights across the landscape. The different like
that happens with people.
It's like a
the
disco
people
ball.
who are like sun gazers.
They see like multiple colors of light coming.
Do you know
from
the
sun.
people who are sun gazers?
I don't know any personally, but tell me about them.
Yeah, they have the same thing. Like they say, when you look at it, it like changes the colors of the ground. It'll make like the like golden hills turn blue and stuff. It does that.
Sounds like
optical illusion.
it sounds like there was moisture in the